start, I've already seen the sketch, been looking at this to see what I'm going to do with it. I've got a liquid pool here. I'm putting some grey into that so that it's liquid. And I'm going to go for the big shapes. The first was, and I've already in my photo, while I was taking this photo, and it's one of about 50 photos I took in the space of about 10 minutes. I'm already with my camera dividing this into how much sky, how much sea, how much foreground. And there's basically 3 divisions, but they're not even, and they move in and out of each other. So about a third of the way down is going to be my horizon. So I will have about a third sky. And the rock coming in for the foreground. What I like in this is how it reaches out like an arm, moves back and then swings around again. That whole shape has a lovely dynamism to it. So it comes down, up again, and reaches out. So you got this lovely movement into the painting. And then these rocks here are breaking up and creating a kind of pathway for the eye to step from here across and reach that, and then moving backwards. So I'm going to get blocking in just a basic grey colour for the sky, and I'm wetting this with my sandal bit because I want that paint to flow off. And I like it flowing down the canvas just to generate some energy. I've got a bigger brush. I'm coming straight into this main grey. It's darker at the horizon, it gets lighter as it works up. I'm coming straight in here. Where it breaks. I'm making it very liquid to kind of pour down. All I'm doing at the moment is setting a mood. And I'm going to keep on wetting this because I want the paint to be very fluid. And going with my knife, I'm going to add some viridian to that mix. And I just want to check if this is in the camera frame. I think it is. I'll try it anyway. And I've got this greenish grey now. I'm coming straight across. Indigo and viridian. Plenty of liquid, straight across. And I'm taking my brush then and moving that in. And I like that flash of green that can happen. So I'm also responding now to what's actually happening on my canvas rather than what might be happening here. Now this is pouring down. I don't want it to cut through my sea. I'm going to come back. And this is actually giving me some of those white feathery clouds on that horizon. In fact, I'm going to get a tissue and take some more white out. These feathered clouds here. And this is all just an underpainting. There'll be many more layers will go on top. But right now, the first marks I make have to determine the whole energy and mood of the subject. So this needs to be very fast and fresh. The white paint will go on top of the greenish water, so I'm mixing some viridian here in the foreground. It's more of that grey. So even though this will be white, I don't want to put white on my white canvas. I need to get a grey watercolour underneath that first. And a bit stronger, a bit more green. A bit more grey. And there's a rising wave that's stronger again there, so I'm going into my ultramarine and my green, ultramarine and indigo and green around here. And I've still got my tissue. I'm going to come in here with some white foam and white foam then here in front. And the ground here is also in shades of grey, but it's a much browner grey. I'm going into my burnt umber mixed with ultramarine blue. And this too is going to be really loose. I'm just dipping my brush into the sans odor thinner and letting that come right off. And I'm going to pick up my knife again. Brown and blue together. And I really like this turn here. And I'm going to take my brush and move that. And more of this here, and I'm just adding sans odor to that paint and letting it all come off the canvas like that. And the rocks here in the middle. And some more. Now that it's wet, I can add some marks with the knife more strongly. And these marks that I'm making with the knife for the rocks need to feel hard and jagged and rough, while the marks with the water is much more smooth and flowing. So it starts with how you actually put the paint on. And a bit more of that. Now, at this point, I've done the blocking, And this is a good point to stop and let this paint sink in and to look at it again before going on. So I will continue this. I'll hold it until I'm ready to do another video. When I do get back to it, I'll switch on the camera again so you can watch what I do next. And the important thing, I think, is to, at this point, not get stuck or fussed in any details, to just look at the big picture, look at the big shapes, get those in, deliver them with some sort of feeling for that element that you're painting, and then allow some of this sort of magic to happen. There's all this dripping down the canvas that I really like. Some of it will be saved, other parts will be covered over, but for the moment I feel that I've started to express what it is about this subject that held my attention in the first place. And it's a couple of things. One is the tonal harmony of all these greys, going from the strongest, blackest here in the foreground to the deeper water of the sea, and then the variation in the clouds in the sky. And the second is the layering of the elements, the sky, the water, the foam, the rock, and how they weave in and through each other. So it does help, I think, too, when you're starting on any work, to articulate what is it I want to say in my painting about this subject. And if you even have a few words that come, even a word or two, energy, rhythm, flow, whatever it is, then try and hold that thought and return to it again and again if you get distracted or if you get stuck in detail at some point. So everybody have a good week. I will be back. It might be before next Wednesday if I want to work on this. I will film it as I go. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, just write them in and I'll come back and ask them here. Thank you everyone. Bye.